You're on the news hour here at Al Jazeera, and these are our top stories. Extra police are to guard schools, businesses and places of worship in New Zealand after the shootings at two mosques. Police commanders say there will be a highly visible presence nationwide on Monday morning after 50 Muslims were killed at Friday prayers in Christchurch. Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern hopes all bodies can be handed over to families for burial by Wednesday. Extra police staff are helping with identification. And New Zealand's gun laws will most certainly tighten following the attack. The government will discuss options on Monday, such as banning private ownership of semi-automatic rifles and a government-funded buyback of outlawed guns. People in the United States are surprised by how quickly New Zealand's government appears to be moving on gun control. Our social media producer Andrew Chappelle is looking at that.
The Basin Reserve Cricket Ground shared some powerful pictures of tens of thousands of people attending a vigil in the capital, Wellington. People around the world have showed their sympathy and solidarity by attending similar events. Now, others have made sure that the world knows exactly who we are talking about here. Khaled Beydoun started a thread to know the names, remember the stories, and celebrate the lives of the 50 people who were killed. They include Khalid Mustafa. He fled violence in Syria as a refugee, only to find it in New Zealand. And Arib Ahmed, he's one of 9 Pakistani nationals who was murdered that day. Now, for many online commentators, the Prime Minister, Jacinda Ardern, has been a role model for the kind of compassion that they expect from political leaders. When she was asked by President Trump what support the United States could provide, her message was sympathy and love for all Muslim communities. But it was her immediate promise to change gun laws, which dumbfounded so many people in the United States, especially compared to what they usually see after a mass shooting. Now, Ardern is expected to discuss some potential changes to gun laws with the government ministers in just a few hours. Here's how some people in Christchurch feel about that.
There could well be a bit of a comeback on some guys that perhaps got more weapons than they use, but you know, as long as they're responsible, it's just of course with everything. I mean, you've got to have some sort of freedom, but you need a weapon that's appropriate for what you're using it for.
No, there'll be no opposition to it because there's no movement here in New Zealand for that. Like there's like all of our news stations, all of our politics is quite left wing.
Again, we are still waiting to see what action the government might take. New Zealand already has far stricter gun laws than the United States, and its citizens have no constitutional right to own a gun. But that's certainly not a good enough excuse for inaction, as many people are discussing today.